Hello, my name is Danli. I am presenting my work, Doufu, rice wine, and flour skin, supporting the connections between precision and cultural knowledge in cooking. This was an autoethnographic study on using precision measurement tools, such as sensors, while preparing traditional dishes, to understand if these tools may have a role in cultural food preparation. Food is culturally meaningful and diverse, and food preparation carries a significant amount of cultural representation. With globalization, food like pizza, burger, and soup dumpling has traveled from their origin and become globally recognized. As a Chinese woman growing up in Chinese culture, I can tell you a lot of stories about soup dumplings and how it has been developed into today's form, in what occasions is it consumed, and all the efforts that go into making it. I'm also interested in these aspects of pizza and burger, the efforts in cultural practices that celebrate holidays or events, the familial ties that remind us of our traditions. However, tradition is often put in opposition to technology. Technology contributed new tools and methods for food preparation, which makes our modern life more convenient and more efficient. In specific, what technology brings into food and food preparation is precision, which is the standard I'm following to make sure that repeated measurements are always the same and close to the instruction. These measurements can be weight, volume, temperature, or time. I believe at the core of using precision tools to prepare food, we can recreate the experience and transfer the knowledge of cooking. So, can we have technology support instead of supplant tradition in cooking? At the intersection of precision tooling and cultural significance of cooking, we are exploring the role that precision plays in celebrating local and legacy food traditions, in which we ask, what would precision technologies that celebrate cultural practices of food look like? How does being sensitive to food culture change how we think about concepts of precision? HCI systems researchers are excited about tech. For example, they have used the pumps to change the flavor of food, they use laser cutting and milling to replace precision knife work, and they use 3D printers to control the density of bread doughs. While these dishes you see on the slide is visually appealing, they ignore the cultural significance of flavor, presentation, and consumption of food. Instead, we are trying to highlight the balance between precision tooling and cultural significance of food in a home setting. We draw from HCI design and STS researchers' work, who have found that work that takes place in domestic settings is less valued, prioritizing industrial, innovation, and engineering over traditional and domestic practices. But now we can have industrial precision in the home. So what does this mean? Let's revisit traditional knowledge of cooking and celebrate culture, creative making, and domestic labor. In this study, we've drawn methods grounded in autoethnographic inquiry and autobiographical design, because these methods are about studying people and culture which they experience. As the first author, I worked with 3 different dishes that are meaningful to me. Each was complex, involving different chemical processes that are familiar to me as a trained materials scientist, but hard to explain to others and turn into complete automation. To cook each, I experimented with ingredients and developed a toolkit with sensors and actuators that use in the cooking process. I'm only going to discuss one dish in this talk. I chose to learn how to make tofu because it is a traditional and well-known food invention in China and around the world. Tofu is made from soy milk and requires curdling the soy milk at a specific temperature. To make tofu at home, you need to first juice and boil the soy. However, it is important to measure the temperature correctly, as an incorrect temperature can result in either flaky tofu curd or softer and less cohesive tofu. To get me from left to the right, I knew I needed to keep track of the amount of ingredients, the temperature, and the timing of each step to successfully make tofu, which is hard to pay attention to all of them at the same time. So I built these tools to support myself. This modular toolkit is comprised of modular components such as thermometer, liquid pump, and a screen for status display. They are all connected to a microcontroller and pre-programmed to execute this recipe. This configuration can be changed to accommodate other recipes as well. The toolkit didn't automate the whole process. The toolkit helped me, and then I could still have fun. In my experiment, I find the joy in homemade tofu by observing the formation of small chunks of tofu. I can then adjust the amount of coagulant on the fly. Pleasure in process is an important part of cooking ritual, and I didn't want to erase it by automating everything. But I also needed the scaffolding that the toolkit provided to get good results. I will use a ladle to gently disturb the surface and decide whether more coagulant and heating is needed. These visual cues cannot be delegated to my toolkit, and the enjoyment of making tofu is very tangible. Through the experiments, I found that you can capture data about the process and reuse just the data to improve outcomes by simple automation. While trying out the recipes for these traditional dishes, I found myself in a state of turning an embodied experience like this into data. Using these data while preserving precision can sometimes take away from the joy of exploring and celebrating tradition. That's why I want even more control over the process. A toolkit like what is presented in this paper, and most smart cookware, only automates the redundant tasks like monitoring time. Yet we still wish to highlight the positive role we believe precision can play in emphasizing embodied experience in cooking. There is definitely space for precision technologies that support and celebrate cultural practices. As I designed and added more modules to this toolkit and changed the program, I noticed that this toolkit solves the problem I had with precision control. I don't have to pay attention to the thermometer or timer, as the toolkit is automating this procedure for me. Using this toolkit has really changed the way I approach cooking. I'm able to focus more on the cultural traditions and the fun of cooking, rather than getting bogged down in the technical details. By delegating the precision measurements to the toolkit, I can really immerse myself in the process and the traditions of making food I want to celebrate. This experience has made me realize that there is a need of cooking tools that prioritize noticing and measuring, rather than just production and efficiency. It's an exciting area of research for scholars in the field of SIGCHI. In the future, I think toolkits like this can help others like me who want to develop sensibilities rather than automate them away. This can help circulate cultural knowledge without supplanting it. In addition to offering simple utility, we find out about how this toolkit helped probe the attachment to cultural knowledge by adding modern technology to cooking. In conclusion, we explored the intersection between precision tooling and traditionally and culturally meaningful culinary practices in a home kitchen setting. We believe that precision can be about personal agency and control rather than just settings and data. Also, technology doesn't need to supplant ritual cooking. It can also support it. We think there is a lot of space for people to make more of these toolkits in the future and bring new insights to SIGCHI design, which encourages and celebrates human-food interaction. Thank you.